Hi, I am Steve Bannicky, and I'm going to share with you my concerns about the direction of Detroit's bankruptcy. The trial is beginning today, and it will determine a plan of adjustment under which the city will be required to live with for many years and maybe decades to come. The city, your representatives, and you, its citizens, have had little input into the plan. Even the comments appearing in the two major newspapers come primarily from the suburbs. I encourage you to become more vocal. The current focus of the plan is on eliminating debt and negative budgets, rather than the long-term viability of the city. Yes, I know minimizing debt is needed, but that is not what we live for. The grand bargain is geared towards saving the DIA rather than turning the city around, providing vital services, and making Detroit a destination for middle-class Americans to raise families and have their children experience a better life than their parents. A critical part of the plan is called the grand bargain, and is not so grand. At the heart of the proposal is the city surrenders ownership of its art stored at the DIA, currently valued between $4.1 and $8.9 billion. And the city receives $800,000, which goes towards paying some of the creditors. In other words, you, the citizens, give up between $3.3 and $8.1 billions of dollars and receive nothing in return. The grand bargain makes no sense unless the objective is saving the DIA rather than saving Detroit. Per an article in the Detroit Free Press in May of this year, the current fiscal year's general fund spending came in at $996 million. Over the next 3 years, Orr's budget calls for $937 million, $922 million, and $927 million spent respectively in general funding. Is this what you want after the bankruptcy? You give up billions of dollars and in return the citizens get more of the same from the city? Living in the city is not going to improve unless the Detroit public schools significantly improve. The public schools are part of the infrastructure of the city. The city's middle class is not going to grow and prosper unless Detroit's public schools become a destination school system. Just think what kind of world-class public school system can be built with an additional $8 billion. The city needs to sell the art and invest the proceeds into providing the best primary and secondary public school system in the state. Kevin Orr and the law firm of Jones Day has the responsibility to assure the creditors in bankruptcy do not get their hands on these funds. This is possible. Several years ago, Jones Day wrote a white paper regarding Chapter 9 bankruptcy in which they said the judge cannot prevent a city from selling assets to invest in infrastructure of the city while the bankruptcy was proceeding. A city's public school system is part of its infrastructure. With this money, the school system can afford the best teachers in the state and hold them accountable. The average classroom size would be reduced to compete with the top private schools in the area, such as Roper, Grosse Pointe Academy, and Detroit Country Day. An administrator at Roper indicated their average class size is 8 students per teacher. And at Grosse Pointe Academy, their objective is to limit the student-to-teacher ratio to no greater than 12:1. The physical environment of the schools could also be upgraded, making them more conducive to learning. With the best public school system in the state, there would be a rush of middle-class families living in the suburbs moving to Detroit to avoid paying the high tuition rates at the private schools. With people migrating to the city, more stores, both retail and wholesale, and more entertainment establishments will open in Detroit. Don't think this will be easy. Besides the money, it will take a lot of planning, implementing, and plain hard work. It will also take time, as much as 10 years, to turn the school district totally around. Progress will begin immediately, but a complete turnaround will take the greater part of the next decade. What is important is to begin. If the grand bargain is enacted as written in the bankruptcy, the opportunity to the city's assets stored at the DIA will be lost forever. The city will no longer own the art. What should the citizens of Detroit do? You need to make your voices heard. Detroiters should convey their feelings to the City Council, the Mayor, Kevin Orr, Congressman John Conyers, and most importantly, John Rhodes. If the citizens don't do this, and they don't hear from you, all those in charge will make the assumption that everyone is fine with the grand bargain. Here are some ideas, and I am sure citizens in Detroit like Sherry Gay Dinago, Ken Whitaker, and Shani Watson-Whitaker have more and better ideas than I do. Shani, sorry for blowing your last name. Number 1, have 10 or 15 citizens attend all trial proceedings. It need not be the same citizens every day, but your presence will transmit your concern. Be polite and attentive. Contact your councilman and the mayor to voice your concern about the grand bargain. Be prepared if anyone from the press wants to interview you. I am more than happy to talk to anyone about the bankruptcy and the grand bargain. Feel free to call or text me at area code 248-677-1493. Don't forget whose city it is. It's yours. Keep it. It will be a great place to live.